This is a presentation of USATF Productions.
Welcome back to Hayward Field. We are at day 7 of the U.S. Olympic Trials. Did you miss us? Well, we missed you. We are back with 4 more days of exciting track and field here at Tracktown, USA. Day 7 is coming your way.
Welcome to your USA Track and Field Journey to Gold live show. I'm your host, Darrell Hill, here with my brother, Will Lear. We've got Michelle Carter. We've got Dawn Harper-Nelson as usual. I know you guys have missed us. We've been gone for the past 2 days, but we are back. We are back. I hope you're rested, brother. How you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I'm not gonna lie, I missed this.
Absolutely.
You know what? I didn't need the break.
Sure.
I was feeling good. I'm jiving right now on track and field. It's absolutely putting wind in my sails. It's gassing me up, and I'm so excited to be back for the second session.
Absolutely. Likewise, listen, over those past few days, I've been able to get outside and touch the people. You know, like I said in the first show.
Respectfully.
I've been out
respectfully. Touch them respectfully.
And consensually. And I've been out at the track at the pre-meets and reading your comments online. We've got a lot of positive receptions on here. You know, I'm thankful for everybody who's watching and everybody who's tuning in here today, man.
And thanks for ChatGPT for deleting all the negative comments. That's, shout out. Thank you.
Exactly. But listen, you ready to give the people what they want?
Let's give them what they want.
All right, so listen, obviously there's been a lot of tons of great performances over the first 4 days. But as we get ready for the back half of the Olympic trials, we want to do a little bit of a podium type situation of our own.
Absolutely. We're each going to pick 3 races. We don't know what the other person picked. And we're going to give our bronze, silver, and gold. Darrell, kick us off with that 3rd place.
Okay, so my bronze medal performance of the first 4 days of the U.S. Track and Field Trials, I think it's the women's heptathlon as a whole. Okay, there's so many things in this competition that you can latch on to and find joy in, but I'll start in the 3rd place position. Talia Brooks, coming and qualifying for her first Olympic Games after 2021, almost having a heat stroke, you know what I'm saying? Getting carried off the track, not being able to finish her performance, but coming here, making it into the 3rd place, qualifying for the Olympics on the back of 2 throws performances, a big time, almost a 1.5 meter performance in the shot put of a PR, another almost 2-meter PR in the javelin. Ladies, if you're doing the multis at home and you're not working on your throws, what are you working on? And we had Anna Hall obviously bringing it back, coming in after injury. That was super duper special. What you have in the bronze position?
Well, I just want to piggyback on that for a second because obviously when we saw the emotional outpouring from Anna Hall, who's one of our sport's booming superstars, you can tell how much that meant to her.
They're so good at that.
At this point for her, winning national championships, it's becoming a bit of a routine.
Sure.
She has a long streak going, but I just think she's the only one that knows the blood, sweat, and tears that went into this particular trials win, and I was just really excited to see that.
First Olympic team for her also, right?
First Olympic team.
She crashed the hurdles back in 2021, but she making it, man. So our whole squad is new. So that was my bronze medal.
Sitting in 3rd place for me, and this is a close 3rd.
Okay.
Was the women's 5,000. Any race where you have a finishing tape where someone throws their arms up and almost punch the other competitor in the face, that's damn near too close to call.
I agree.
And so I love it when it takes 5,000 meters of racing to be separated by mere, at this point, centimeters,
Sure.
right? Just a very aggressive lean at the line. Ellie St. Pierre really, really being pushed by Elise Cranny. Elise Cranny, over the last couple of weeks, 6 to 7 weeks, has found herself, and she is dangerous. I'm very much looking forward to what the 2 of those ladies can do in Paris.
Yeah, I think, listen, obviously she came in as a favorite. She was who we picked to win the 5K, but even still, like you talked about, have it at the line, right? That performance, how gritty and tough that was, we knew it was going to be special, and it did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. Okay, so moving on to the silver position. It was the men's shot put. Obviously, it's men's shot put, so I got a little bit of bias here. You guys already know. But that shot put performance, I think, is going to have some implications throughout the summer. Coming into the competition, Ryan Krauser, we talked about it before. We've given you the background, but if you were not here before, suffered an elbow injury at the indoor championships, came back from that, tore his pec in his training, came back from that, had another elbow injury, right, coming into this championship, hadn't thrown this outdoor season. So what does that tell you coming into it? That you should pick Joe Kovacs? Wrong. We were all
dead
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah,
dead
we were
wrong.
all wrong. We picked it. Obviously, Ryan Krauser came in, showed his greatness, got the dub. But the biggest reason why I said my silver position was Joe Kovacs did an interview afterwards. And he's not really usually a man of a lot of words. but he did an interview afterwards where he talked about how upset he was at the performance. He said that he should have beaten Ryan by a meter.
Those are big words from a big man.
That's what I'm saying. When we talk about this heavyweight battle, right, that was one of the first times I felt like somebody's come out and vocally talked about the other person in that way, saying, I'm bummed about that performance. Yes, I qualified for the Olympic Games, but I felt like I should have won, and I'm disappointed with that. So I'm really excited to see what that leads into for the summer. So that's why it's in my silver medal position.
And it very much goes to what Emmanuel Ichos talked about. He wanted to see more rivalries. And so we know that there's a rivalry between Joe Kovacs and Ryan Krauser, but maybe this becomes a war of words as well as a war of puts.
I'm excited to see, man. What you got in silver?
Silver, none other than one of my favorite races in track and field, the 400, the women's 400 meters, where every single athlete that made the team ran a personal best.
Oh, I love that. That's
what
you dream of.
And have to run a PR, I think there's something special about that. And obviously, I mean, you see what that effort over 3 rounds takes on those women. And Kendall Ellis's celebration and just like bawling at the finish line. I love sports. That's why I love sports.
Absolutely.
Is because of the rawness of emotion. And so that sits in silver for me.
Listen, we've been spoiled here on this show, getting a chance to speak to a lot of the people we're talking about right here and getting to have Kendall Ellis sitting next to us and talk about what that performance meant to her as we look at the replays, as we watch the races. Like, it brings it full circle, man. That was a super special performance, but that makes a lot of sense to me. We moving on. The gold medal performance for me was the men's 100 meters. There was so many things I could have taken. I could have picked the women's 100 meters. It was just spicy like that. But the men's 100 meter covered all of the things. We had a favorite. Has there been a favorite here at this championship who's been picked against more than Noah Lyles?
Look, there's a lot of pomp and circumstance he's dealing with right now.
I know.
There's a lot of external activities.
Listen, defending world champion, coming in, running fast all year, only undefeated against Americans, right? But coming into the final, we all picked against him, but rightfully so. We saw Christian Coleman and the semis look fantastic. We had Fred Curley and all the things that he's dealing with on the track, off the track. What shoes he wearing? Is he doing an interview? Is he not doing an interview? Right? That race has
blocks any good?
Exactly. Our blocks were good enough, obviously, because he made the team. But so that race covered literally every speck of drama you could have thought of coming into that race. And then Noah Lyles stepping off the track and then coming to sit on our desk and tell us that we were all wrong. So that was my gold medal pick for the first 4 days.
Honestly, I can't wait to see what the sprint show does with this year of track and field. Now that we've been this close to be able to watch those races unfold, fantastic. You know, Darrell, you very, I would say biasly, in a biased way, chose a shot put.
We've all got our biases.
I had to choose the 1,500 meters. The men's 1,500, again, one of the, Emma Coburn talks about this later in the show, but one of these races that just leaves you with your jaw on the ground. The performances that it took to be in the top 4 in that race, top 5 people breaking the meet record, 3:30. I mean, what this race showed to me is that the United States has 3 legitimate medal contenders in a race that we have not won. Well, we won with Matt Centrowitz, but we had such a gap before that. And unfortunately, we didn't see Central at this trial. So, you know, this is the next generation, and it's very exciting to see.
The men's 1,500, like I talked about a bunch of times through the first 4 days, we don't usually get an opportunity to watch this track meet from the stands. That was the first race of the first 4 days that when I was sitting in the stands, you could feel it. You know, it was truly electric. I was sitting next to some small children. They had their hands over their head like it was crazy. We had the goose heads down on the backstretch. It was a super duper fantastic race. And I don't think you could have been wrong if we picked any performances, man. Honorable mention out to the women's 100 meters. That was fantastic. But listen, we've got so much great stuff coming on the show today. As always, we've got some fantastic guests. But first things first, we're going to send it out to Michelle for some trivia.
All right. I am here looking for a few fantastic fans to answer some track and field trivia. Let me walk around and see who I can find. Oh, look, I think I found me someone. Hi, what's your name and where you from?
I'm Jaden Kimball. I'm from Houston, Texas.
All right, Jaden, I have a question for you. I think you might know the answer to this one. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Who is the American record holder in the women's discus?
Valerie Almond.
You are correct! Woo! Well, look what we have for you, a Hyper Ice hypervolt, so you can massage those wonderful muscles you have. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thank you for playing with us, and we'll see you around. Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. All right. I need one more participant. Sir, I feel like you've been sitting here watching us, and you might know the answer to my question. Would you like to participate in our trivia today? Sure. All right. So, in the steeplechase, they have to clear 35 barriers. How many of them are over water? Tell me your name and where you're from.
I'm Kevin from Boise, Idaho. Oh, you're going to get me on this one. I know there's one water jump per loop, per run around the track. So that would mean 8.
Oh, man, I'm going to give you one more try. You're close. Give me one more number.
Oh, 7.
Yeah, you got it. I have another prize for you. We have a set of pins. Thank you so much for coming out and playing with us today. Enjoy the rest of your time at the U.S. Olympic Trials. You're welcome. All right, Darrell, back to you.
All right, Will. I'm very excited for this next guest. We're here with Emma Coburn, 2016 Olympic bronze medalist, 2017 world champion, and 2019 medal as well. Before we start, I got to break the fifth wall a little bit here. When she walked up to the desk, I told her that I was a big Emma Coburn fan, and she said to me, well, you've got to say that to everybody. And I wanted to bring this up. There's one thing that's in common with all those wonderful achievements that I just named. I was in the stadium for all of them.
So you're my good luck charm.
That was actually the question I had written down. And do you think I'm your good luck charm?
I can't do it without you. Okay. I mean, I should just hire you to be on my team. Just come everywhere with me.
Are you accepting applications for that? Yeah. Slide into her DMs.
Will does it for free, actually.
I do it for free. Yeah, I'm an unpaid intern.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So obviously we don't get to see, we don't usually get to see you in this role here in Eugene. So how are you enjoying the Olympic trials, although we're not competing in it? How are you feeling being in the stadium right now?
It's a totally different experience being here as a spectator. I haven't watched the Olympic trials since I was in high school. Okay. Every trial since then I've been competing in. So to come into, Eugene and Tracktown and the vibe here for the trials, which is always so energetic, but not have the pre-race nerves is definitely a little different. And I think it helps soften the blow of being injured this year when I have a few teammates that are competing and have good chances to make the team. So that kind of gives me a different focus and excitement and energy that that obviously I'm not getting from my own racing, but it's Hayward, so it's fun to be here.
Sure.
All right, before we get into, obviously we have the women's 3,000 meter steeplechase final tonight, which is going to be an electric race. Emma, you got to announce those prelims, and as we were walking over here, prelims are sort of just very routine for a lot of the athletes, but how did you enjoy the experience of commentating on a race?
Commentating was really fun. I mean, Kara Goucher is one of my best friends, and she was in the booth with me. And so to just be sitting next to her, it felt very relaxed and easygoing, like we were just watching the races at home on TV. But I was a little bit nervous because right before the steeple prelims was the men's 1500 final, and that was so intense. And I had the headset on, and there's Lee and Kara, and they're nailing it, and they're doing their job so well, and the race is so exciting and intense. And the 1500 is obviously just shorter. You have to be more concise with what you're saying. It's so action-packed, and they nailed it. And I was like, oh boy, I am in trouble. And I got kind of nervous, and then we did the steeple, and again, I just obviously know that event so well, and so they just wanted me to talk about, if I were in those shoes right now, what would I be thinking? What would I be doing? What would my plans be? And so that felt really natural, and it wasn't high pressure, but I enjoyed it. It was really fun.
Do you recall any particular thing from the broadcast? You're like, wow, I can't believe that I'm thinking about that, or maybe by talking through the races, did you envision yourself out there at all?
When I saw weirdly not for the steeple as much, but when I saw the men's 1500 line up, I got those pre-race butterflies, and obviously not racing myself here, it was a different level of emotion, but I certainly felt that pre-race tension. But then in the women's steeple, I think a moment that was really fun when I was doing the commentary was during the second heat. My teammate Gabby Jennings was racing, and it was really tactical and relaxed, and I said, oh, about this point is when I would start opening it up, and right then Gabby happened to do that exact
Yeah, because
thing.
she had her AirPod in.
Yeah, exactly.
You were dialed.
Yeah,
You got
so
the direct line.
it sounded like I was really knew what I was talking about, because she literally did exactly what I had said would happen. And so that was just kind of funny, but obviously we're coached by the same person and have the same training, and so we have similar tactics and goals. So that was kind of a moment that I felt like I called it.
Hey, man, that's awesome.
Nailed
Listen,
it.
I actually went back and watched the broadcast, so I got to hear you commentating. I thought you crushed it. So, listen, if you guys are paying attention out there, obviously she's getting back on the track, but give her a call, right? The men's 1,500 meters, I felt like that was one of the most electric races that we've had here during the first 4 days of the Olympic trials. Watching that race and how it unfolded, we've been doing predictions, all right? We've been all over the place. Did that race pan out any way how you anticipated it, or was it just as crazy for you as it was for us?
I think for everyone who's been really paying attention in the men's 1,500 and watching the Diamond Leagues, I think it was really great to see Yared go to the front and push and in such a fast race. And he's going, 3:30 pace, but looks pretty relaxed doing it. So I had no idea how fast the men were really running. And then when I saw their finishing times, I was blown away, mainly because Cole Hawker, and he said this in his own interviews, he just never quite had that much strength to be able to kick off of that fast of a pace. So to see him shift while running 3:30 was pretty incredible to watch. So I think then that battle for third, fourth, fifth is always super tense. But those top two guys I was really impressed by. And then that same day was also the women's 800, which was crazy. And the women's 5K, I think, was also that night. So it was just a really exciting night for distance running. And I think obviously the second half of this week is just going to keep delivering, but it's been good so far.
Absolutely. I hate to bring the vibe down a little bit because we've been talking about so many positive things. Well, I guess this is positive in its own right. Shanghai, right? We're coming over the water jump. We break our ankle. Ouch. But more on the other side of that, 6 weeks later, we're back on the ground. That is extremely impressive. Can you talk to me a little bit about just the emotions you might have felt in the moment of after having that injury and knowing what that meant for your Olympic prospects, but the next 6 weeks and what you had to go through pushing yourself to get back on the ground?
Yeah, so I broke my ankle, and then a couple days later was able to get surgery where I have a screw in there now. And I was actually talking to some friends about it, and as heartbreaking as it was so clear cut that you will not be able to run the Olympic trials. So sometimes when you have, as you guys know, sometimes when you have more of a nagging injury or a tendon issue pop up, you're holding on to hope for so long,
Sure.
and you're trying to force your body into doing it. And so that is more torturous in a way, because it's just a longer period of time of debating, can I race, can I not? And so this, as crappy as it was, the definitive
Right.
decision of you broke your ankle, you need surgery, you cannot race the Olympic trials, helped close that chapter for me and just start looking forward to potentially racing some non-steeple races this late summer and fall,
Okay.
and really gearing up to be strong and ready for 2025. And Will knows this because he's one of my closest friends, but I cope with tough experiences in life by just putting in work, and that really makes me.
You and me are far too alike, unfortunately. Far too alike.
I'm just not someone who copes with sadness by laying on the couch and crying. I cope with sadness by what's the next step? How can I be better? What can we do next? And I certainly cried. I certainly felt a lot of emotions, but I poured myself into just getting my body healthy and feeling strong. And now I've been running a little bit. Will has paced me in some workouts.
Shout out to Will.
I can't believe I'm still physically here. I should be taking a nap. That was 2 days ago, and I'm still exhausted.
Yeah. So there's been, of course it was heartbreaking to not get to be here, but I'm just, turning it into the best situation I can, and I'm finding my own joy in that.
Sure.
Speaking of finding joy, Darrell and I had the joy of interviewing the one and only Snoop D-O-double-G. He sat in that chair.
The dog. Craziness.
Snoop also obviously found some interest in the water jump of the steeplechase.
Yeah.
What do you think about Snoop Dogg commentating on the steeplechase and the eyes that will bring to your beloved event?
Jumping off the tippy top, that was so great. I feel like that needs to be inscribed in the water jump, like instead of Oregon at the, engraved in the water jump
Just tippy
barrier,
top.
they need to say tippy top.
Yeah, off the tippy
on
top.
it.
I agree.
We'll just tell Jerry Schumacher, like, hey, you're the coach here. Let's just get that on. But I thought it was great. I think we obviously, it is such a peculiar event, and so to get someone's raw reaction to watching it for the first time it's just, his reaction is so genuine and excited, and it definitely brought new perspective and eyeballs onto the event. And yeah, I thought it was pretty fun.
That is awesome. Listen, I just kind of want to bring it full circle and figure out. Obviously, we're pushing back towards 2025. Well, actually, we just heard breaking news. I'm not sure if it's breaking. You probably talk about it on Instagram, but she's coming back later this summer to get back on the track. So we're excited to see that. But can you talk a bit about? Obviously, I was there for all of those high moments when you were achieving, winning championships, getting medals, and obviously, kind of since then, it's been a bit of a rough go. And I've lived a little bit of that in my own career. Can you talk a bit about? Picking up the pieces when it's difficult to do so and continue to move forward, even as you, after 4 or 5 years, come back, break your ankle. That's heartbreaking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Can you talk a bit about that?
I think all of us are wired the same way as elite athletes, where you just move on and you just go to the next page, you go to the next chapter, and there's no no athlete is going to win every race. No athlete is going to PR every time they hit the track. And I think what separates, some athletes from others is that like mental fortitude and endurance to be able to go through the highs and lows and know that like one bad year or one bad race doesn't really define you. And honestly, one great race and one great year doesn't define you either. It's a whole career of a decade or 15 years long that matter, and it is at the same time it's just track. So if you like yourself as a person and you like your life outside of this, then you can't ever beat yourself up if things, if you gave your best effort and things didn't work out. But I'm definitely very willing to work hard and try and get back to those winning championships and winning medals. Like that still motivates me and gets me out the door. So that's still very much where my head's at. Like I don't feel physically or emotionally ready to just call it a day. I feel very still that burning desire to still like be great.
All right, before we let you go, Emma, one final question. We got to talk about the women's steeplechase tonight. Don't give him any ideas on predictions, but maybe when you were watching those prelims, who caught your eye? Who are you excited to watch race tonight?
Of course, I'm excited to watch Gabby Jennings, my teammate. I thought she looked incredible in her prelim. The way she closed that last kilometer was, she just looked so relaxed, so dominant, that when she looked so good that when, again, similar to the men's 15, when I saw the splits later, I was really impressed because I didn't know she was running that fast. So she just made it look really easy. So Gabby, I thought, looked really, really great. I'm also, of course, Courtney Wayment is one of the veterans in this race, and Val Constein is a returning Olympian. So I think those three women looked very good and comfortable, but I think there's still 2 or 3 or 4 ladies who are going to be challenging for those top 3 spots.
That's amazing. I know Will said that was the last question, but speak for himself.
It was the last question before the last question.
There we go. Listen, it's real quick. I got one last question. Did I earn my ticket to the Emma Coburn fan club?
Yeah, I mean, you were already there. We're here. So it's you and Will. So there's 2 members so far.
If you know, you know.
Submit your application.
I think that there's about 175 or 250, 500,000 more of them on the internet.
Listen.
Well, we have 2. We have 2 right here.
Card-carrying members. If you want cards, hit us up.
We are the first 2 members of the Emma Coburn fan club, but we will have sign-ups taking place in the fan zone. If you would like to join our desk, Emma, we are so excited that you came here with us today, but we are super-duper excited to see you back on the track this summer, and this is a perfect example of why all good books do not end in the middle. They end in the end. So I'm excited to see the second half of your great career because I know it's going to be special.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Emma.
Now, back to the fan zone. The energy in the fan zone is really picking up as we get ready for this next day of track and field competition. We got people getting their games, getting their merch. You already know we got a lot of people over at the food tent, which are my favorite. They had some good pizza over there that we had at the desk yesterday, man. But I'm excited for all these people to get their butts in the seat as we get ready for another day of track and field.
Day 5.
Day 5, man. This thing's coming at you fast, man. Life comes at you fast.
Coming at you fast. Got to pay attention.
But listen, we've talked so much about all of these wonderful guests we've got, and I'm super duper excited to welcome to our desk the 2024 U.S. Indoor National Champion, newly crowned Olympian, and the pride of Strathaven High School, Allie Wilson. How we doing?
Thank you. I'm good. I've never been better, honestly.
I like the way you think. Listen, from the Delco County Championships to the Olympic Games, I mean, talk me through that, man. That's a beautiful transition.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because I feel like it's all relative. Like, whatever stage you're at in life, that feels like the pinnacle of what you're doing. And Delco's for me used to be that. Used to be the biggest thing I was doing. Then the state championships, get to college, NCAA, so on. And so, yeah, it's great to really have reached, like, the highest level of this sport. I can't say I ever really believed that would happen for myself.
Sure.
And I'm really honored that it is, happening.
As a fellow Delaware County native, Penwood High School grad, District 1 champion.
I didn't know
Come
that.
on, man. Listen, that's what I'm saying. We got ties,
Allie, you didn't do your homework?
You didn't
Come
do your
on.
homework?
Come on.
That's why, listen, we had Emma.
Delco, baby.
You just had Emma on the show. I'll tell you, I'm the fan of all these people because there's a lot of connections. So listen, I was in that Delaware County as well, so I've always been rooting for you. So this is an honor for me to sit down here and congratulate you on making your first Olympic team.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we're seeing you in a different uniform this year. For the past 4 years, we've seen you in the Atlanta Track Club. You've uprooted your life. You've moved to Indianapolis in last November. For a lot of people, that would be just an earthquake that they might not, it would take a little bit of time to normalize to. How have you turned that change into the best season of your career?
Yeah, so I actually talked a little bit about this in a podcast yesterday, and I feel like
No podcast yesterday.
I'm
No
not poaching
podcast
questions.
yesterday. No podcast yesterday.
This same question was asked to me. Thanks. Yeah, all right.
No, I really like this
Throw me under the
question.
bus. Oh, fantastic. Great. Awesome.
well, basically, it was a lot. It was very stressful. It was nerve-wracking. It was a lot of pressure. I wanted to make the right choice so bad, and it was really hard to figure out what that was. I knew the entire time throughout that whole process that staying with my coach, Andrew Begley, was the right choice for me. It just was kind of hard to come to terms with, like, okay, how different things are going to look. We don't know where we're going. Like, he was throwing out all these different cities, and, like, I'm kind of, like, hoping he's going to pick a little closer to home. And, you know, he decided on Indiana. I was like, all right, like, I had some pushback. I was like, I'm not going to Indiana. I told him, I was like, I'm not going there. And he just stuck with it, and eventually he knew I was going to go regardless. Because I just believe in, like, him and what we have done up until this point so much. And being that it was such an important, like, time, it just wasn't, there was no part of me that wanted to change what I was doing.
If this were a different year, do you think that you maybe would have made a different decision?
Still no. But it
Loyalty,
made
baby.
It made my decision, like, that much more important that I stayed with him, because I was like, I knew it was what I had to do. And it was scary at first. Like, I left my contract, and I was, you know, paying my way through stuff for a while. I didn't have a contract, and that was really tough. It was hard also not to think about, like, it doesn't matter. Like, your worth isn't based on if you have a contract or not, but it's easy to, like, feel like that, because I went from, like, having this contract, and now, like, no one was really trying to pick me up, and then it feels like, oh, I'm not worthy of that. And I had to just keep, like, having a lot of self-belief in that time of like, it doesn't matter if I'm being written a check or not. I'm, like, worthy of being out on that track as much as anyone else, and I just kind of stuck with that. And yeah, luckily after indoors, it had gone pretty well, so Nike picked me up. And
Oh, the turntables.
Yeah.
Oh, the turntables.
I was pretty excited about that, and I knew, like, it was a lot of pressure indoors, because I was like, it kind of felt like if I didn't have a good indoor season, there might not be a contract on the table, and I knew I was going to have to get through this entire year on my own, and that would have been really hard. I know people do it, but yeah, kudos to people who
You're
get
running
through.
running
yeah.
for your life.
Yeah, literally.
Running for your
yeah.
life.
So it kind of felt like it, and it felt like I had this like weight of the world on my shoulders to prove to everyone I was worthy of a contract. And so, yeah, I feel like that was like the first turn of events of like winning indoors, that like getting my contract, going to Worlds, like where I was like, okay, like this, I could have done it without it, I think, but like it really, really helps to like have people who believe in me and are supporting me again.
I think it's really cool hearing you talk about just your pathway through this year, but more importantly, your career, because it feels like everything you've gotten, you've had to earn. Like coming from a mid-major school, coming from a small town like we all are, right? Having to earn your way all the way up. When I think about this year, right, and you talk about the consistency with your coach and all of those things, right? Not running 2 minutes until the finals of the Olympic trials. I'm sure that went exactly how you guys planned it, right?
Yeah, so that was, I have been, I don't know, I had a really big breakthrough year in 2022, obviously, and I think I took that for granted because I was just running so fast, and I didn't even really realize it at the time, because you're always wanting more. Right. So, I was like hitting all these times, but I wanted this, and I'm like, well, I even when I ran my PR, I ran 158.09, and I was so disappointed because I wanted to run 157 so bad, and I was like a couple hours later, I was like, I just PR'd, and I didn't even realize it. So, I had to stop and realize, like, okay, I need to, like, take these little wins because they don't come around that often in this sport. And so I had to remember, like, it's okay. It's not all about the time. It's about just putting myself out there and doing the best I can on any given race. But, yeah, last year was really hard for me. I think I broke 2 once, and it was just like, I was starting to tell people, I was like, I'm just like the 2 flat girl now. Like, I run 2 flat every single race. And yeah, it was hard coming into this meet believing like I was going to get a spot on that team, because that didn't feel like it was going to be enough. And I just kept telling myself, like, you never know what's going to happen in the final. You never know what it's going to take. It could be 1 in 2:10, and I'm not going to care if I am in one of those top 3 spots if I run 2:10. So I just like kind of kept trekking along, and then the final, I was just running with everything I had, like pretty much with just my heart. And I had no idea we even ran like pretty fast. So I saw the scoreboard afterwards, and I was just excited to see I had come in top 3, but also like to have run a fast time again, like on the day that it mattered most. It was, pretty special.
Allie, we ran into each other on Pre's Trail yesterday morning, and you talked Nick Willis and I through this experience that you had during the race that was maybe unlike any other race you've ever run. Would you mind sharing that on the show?
Sure, yeah. So basically, I can be kind of a big ball of nerves going into a race. I feel like we all are, but sometimes I'm like, mine might be a little more than others. And we just know that about me, and it's fine. We manage it. My coach always has said, like, you are very nervous beforehand, but the second the gun goes off, you race like you weren't, and you race like a fierce competitor every time. So it's like, it is what it is. But so I was pretty nervous going into the final. There was a lot of uncertainty, and obviously there's so many incredible women in the 800 in this country. So I just didn't know what was going to happen. But like the second the gun went off, I have never been more calm in my entire life. And it actually caught me off guard. But I was like, I think I knew going into it. I think I had really come to terms with whether or not I made the team. It didn't define my worth. And I was very like just content with everything I have done up to this point, and I was like, I want a spot more than anything, but I refuse to like only be proud of myself if I get one of those 3 spots. So I think I was just running like, for the first time, I really feel like I like soaked it in. I like honestly enjoyed it, and I know people always say that after they have a good race, but like the crowd, I know, was going nuts, and like in my head it was very quiet, and like it just felt like very surreal. I kind of just felt like I was just like a robot, and I was like, okay, now move up into 4th place, now move up into 3rd, now move up into 2nd. Like I never panicked. I just like really ran my race and just kept on believing in myself the entire time. But I definitely just like took it all in, and like it was like unlike anything I've ever experienced.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Listen, that's super duper cool. Obviously, We are super excited that you just took a chance and came here and sat with us today. I can't get out of here. I know I know you got some things to do, but I got to ask you about the bun.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm sure what started off as just an efficient running hairstyle has now become part of your persona, right? It's a thing, right?
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
Yeah, I don't know when it became a thing, but
Sure.
apparently it's a thing.
It's a thing. It's
Yeah,
a thing.
I have worn my hair like that, like, practically since birth. I played soccer too. I've always had a big bun on my head. I never looked cute in school, in high school. I would be in sweatpants and have my hair in a messy bun every single day of my life. And people think like, oh, shoot, like, I don't know what they think, but like a lot of times I'll like do my hair, I'll try to have it look all nice going into the meet, and then the second I get there, I just want it off of my neck, and I'm just like, I'm hot, and I want it off, and I just throw it up as high as I can. And then people really clung on to that, and now the bun is a thing.
Listen, that's super duper cool. We are so excited for you and your opportunity that you're going to have here in Paris. We know you're going to crush it. I'm rooting for you. The whole Delaware County is rooting for you, and we want to wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Absolutely.
for having me.
All right, we're heading out to the fan zone now. I think I'm going to give me some lemonade before our next guest comes up.
Of course, yes. Thank you.
Thank you so
How
much.
did I not know
I
that?
know, man. Listen,
Oh my God.
I'm proud of you, man. Very proud of you.
That's the best. I love Delco.
There we go.
Delco girl through and through.
We love it.
All right, you got it. Thank you.
I've had an opportunity to stop out there and I've actually tried this lemonade stand. I've had the regular one, they've got a strawberry one, and they had a watermelon one, depending on which one of those you stop at. Right now, he's got that. Looks like he got the lemonade, the regular lemon in the cup. I'm about to stop over there when we finish over here, but we're coming back to the desk with none other than your Olympic trials champion. Olympic trials champion. I got to repeat that, honestly, because it feels like that's getting a little bit overlooked here. You know what I'm saying? We got Nia Akins here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce her first. But I feel like a lot of people have talked about this race, the 800 meters, and they've talked a lot about the fall. But what's kind of going overlooked is you're an Olympic trials champion. How you feeling?
I'm feeling, I don't know what I'm feeling. I haven't really processed that yet. I kind of forgot that that's what we were running for. I was just running. Yeah.
I like that, man. I think that's the way to be. But obviously, it's been a special year for you, coming in here, knowing you're ready. Can you talk to me about those last few weeks of preparation, coming here, knowing you'd have an opportunity to qualify for your first Olympics?
Yeah, I mean, we did a 6-week camp in Albuquerque at altitude, and after that, we came down to Seattle for like a week and a half, and at that point, like, all the work was just done. It was just kind of about mentally just being kind to yourself. Sure. and just like listening to your body every day, not pushing the envelope, because that time will come later. And yeah, then we showed up here, and yeah, I don't know, it just happened. I'm still just kind of shocked.
I love it.
Yeah, we did it.
Nia, you said you haven't slept in a few days.
Yeah.
Is that maybe something you're looking forward to most here in the next week?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I'll get some better sleep. But honestly, it's an honor. I feel like I'm dreaming now. So yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest. How you looked in that final, I don't see another situation that you don't win that race. I feel as though your 800-meter running, your strategic, how you're able to execute strategically has gone to another level this year.
Thank you.
Let me get that race footage. Like you talking about? I keep going, bro. But I need to see this race.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, the afterburners and the downshift, right? It was like launched out of a cannon. So much daylight between yourself and the rest of the competitors. I mean, looking absolutely. We'll see this. Got the replay on the screen here, but I guess walk us through the race. Was this, obviously we don't account for a fall, but otherwise strategically, is this sort of what you had planned?
I didn't have a plan, honestly. My plan was to just race, and I was racing to win, and I honestly told myself that 3 years ago, like, if I'm towing the line again, I'm not going to be scared to race. I'm just going to go for it, and I'm going to race to win and see what happens. And yeah, and I'm very proud that, like, 3 years later, that's what happened, and it worked out. Yeah.
I think worked out is an understatement, honestly. I see you coming down this home stretch right here, and I think if you look up at the video board, you can see you got it clear. Obviously, I spend a lot of time in the ring, so I don't get a lot of action out on the track. Can you tell me what goes through your mind knowing you've got 100 meters between you and the tape for an opportunity of a lifetime?
Gosh, I wasn't even. I honestly wasn't really thinking about the tape.
I
I
bet.
saw it at like the last minute, and I was like, "Why is it here?"
Out of my way, tape, move, I'm coming.
Which is horrible,
Look,
but
there you go right there. That is so.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. That's pure joy right there.
I
That's
think
bliss,
we were really
baby.
emotional after, but yeah, I just I wasn't really thinking about anything. I was just very tunnel vision. I feel like the whole race, just in the secret place, and yeah, just like one step at a time, and it just worked out. Yeah.
A lot of times when you're in those late stages of races, right, you're hearing the pitter-patter of footsteps around you, you're hearing the breathing, maybe you're even feeling some people on your shoulder, trying to come on your inside. When did you know that you had this thing in the bag?
I don't think I knew until I crossed the line, to be honest. I had no idea what was going on behind me, and I think because of what happened in the first 200 meters, I kind of saw what happened, but not entirely like the aftermath of it, so I wasn't sure if somebody was coming. I was just like, but I'm just not going to worry about that. I'm just going to keep running, and I think in both rounds, I just kept looking up at the screen to make sure like I secured my spot, and I told myself in the final I wasn't going to look at the clock, I wasn't going to look at the board, I was just going to like just finish it because all I got.
Listen, listening to you speak here, you sound like a coach's dream. Every time you hear a coach talk, they always mention, go out there, run your own race, pay attention to your lane. Don't worry about what everybody else is going on. Stay above the fray. Different versions of that same kind of communication. And when I hear you speak, that's what it sounds like you were thinking about on the track. I'm not worried about the line. I'm just doing me. Is that accurate?
Yeah, pretty much. I just wanted to do the best that I could, and I knew I'd be proud of myself no matter what. So, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm sure between now and Paris, your coach Danny Mackey he's cooked up some crazy plans for you to make you go to that even next level in terms of the double peak. Can you share? Do you know what you guys are going to be doing? Are you going to stay stateside? Are you going to go over to Europe and run some races?
We're going to stay over here. We're going back to Albuquerque. He wants to keep some of the blood cells that we have from our last camp, and honestly, I think it's just about maintaining what we've done so far. There's not that many weeks left, and just getting more and more dialed in every day. And yeah, this feels like the middle. This doesn't feel like the end. So I'm excited to see, what we have for Paris.
Likewise. I feel like this show has done a great job of painting pictures for our young viewers at home and people who may be watching who are young athletes and trying to achieve. And I feel like you've been speaking a lot of really insightful things. I want to go back a little bit earlier in the season because I felt like there was a pivotal moment that I'd like you to talk about. You go to the indoor championships. I think you're ready. You know what I'm saying in that moment, but you lose at the line in a really, really tight race.
God.
Right. Listen, we can bring it up now because, happier days. You lose at the line, you finish third place, but a week later you go to Washington and you run 158. And it feels like since that moment, it's been up. You know what I mean? It's been nothing slower than 159 since that moment. But I want to talk about that week. Knowing you're ready for a performance and not getting the results you want. Talk to me about the self-communication that you have with yourself in those 7 days before you embark on your next journey towards Paris.
Yeah. To be honest, it was just a real test of faith. I prayed about it, and I got really sick the week of indoor champs, and I just felt called to still race, and I started to feel just good enough to get on the line again. And then in the first round, I lost my shoe, and I just had to keep running. It's just, the show must go on sometimes, and that's life. It just happens. Nobody's kind of immune to it. We're all just kind of humaning together. So I think, it just reminded me of that. And, the next race was just so easy because I just didn't have any chaos to deal with, to be honest. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm sad that it wasn't Worlds, but, I just trust God's plan. If he didn't want that for me, I don't want it either. So it worked out. Yeah.
I like that verb that we're just humaning.
Right.
All this humaning here. You just happen to human a bit faster than the average human.
Absolutely. Well, listen, the U.S. 800 women have done fantastic at the Olympic Games. It's a large sorority, and I'm so sure that they're excited to welcome you to there and watch what you do as you embark on this journey towards Paris. We're going to be watching. We're super excited for you as well, so I want to wish you the best of luck, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
That's Nia Akins, lady. We're going to go back out to the fan zone and see what's going on. The DJ is playing some hits. Oh, listen, they got some stuff out in California. I think Dawn's got another special guest out in the fan zone for us as well. Let's see what she's got for us.
Ooh-wee! We are starting with the second half of the Olympic trials. And I'm going to just say it again. The tensions are high. Athletes are excited, but they also a little nervous. But I had to come back because I've been hearing about this booth in the fan zone. And so I said, it's been on my Instagram, all in my face on social media. I needed to find it. And not only did I find it, but they got your girl suited and booted. I mean, I can tell you about how comfy, cute, and dope I look, but why not hear it from the lady herself? Yes, Sonya.
So
yes.
good.
And it's comfortable. I said, girl, where you get this material from? Nothing cheap with Sonya, right?
No, only the best, especially for Team USA, right? Like, Dawn, this has been such a dream come true for me, like to be able to continue to contribute to our sport in different ways. Obviously, we're doing the commentating, and then now to be able to be the official pajama partners of Team USA just means the world to us. And of course, we're going to deliver the best. I mean, it's what we do.
From the beginning, that's what she does. Gold medals, I mean, just pouring out the sky, people. But so, okay, let me just ask you this. So we can assume that we know how, like, how she came up with the idea.
Yeah.
What was the spark, though? What was that? And another thing, we're all clear. We have some idea that is dope and amazing, but it's laid dormant and died off to the side. How did you come up with this idea, but move forward with it as well?
Yeah, so Ross and I, my husband, Handsome, who's here modeling also in the back, we wanted to start a business together. And we kept trying to think of doing something that we really loved, that was a real reflection of where we were in our lives right now. And so it's all about family for us, creativity, entrepreneurship, and I love fashion and beauty. And so it was like, I wanted to do pajamas for a very long time. I said, baby, is this the business? He's like, yeah, he was all in on it. So we launched it last year as a Christmas collection. So we started because obviously families love to coordinate around Christmas. And so we started with Christmas, sold out in just a month. And we're like, okay, we're on track with something here. And then we went to Team USA. I got to give a lot of love to Max Siegel and Renee. I told them first about the idea, and they made the introductions to the USOC. And of course, we pitched it, knocked it out the park, and here we are.
So like I said, if you don't know Sonya, you know now. This young lady, when she wakes up in the morning, if she has an idea, it's done by 3 p.m. I'm just saying that's who she exactly is. I love that. So, okay, question. So we are at the trials, obviously, right? You got us comfy, but on that first half, what had you excited, biting your nails? Tell me about it.
Man, the first half was amazing, and it was like this. It was like all this drama and everything, right? So the first part of the meet started out perfectly, right? The big stars made it through. We saw Sha'Carri and Noah lead Team USA, which obviously, a lot of people biting their nails to see that. And then we ended on some major disappointment. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was a little emotional in the booth. I had to get myself together, because not seeing a thing make the team was so hard, while also celebrating the 3 women who did make the team, because we know how hard that is to do. I'm getting chills thinking about it right now, but it was just really hard to see one of America's biggest stars not make the team. So, the start of the meet had all the dramas of a blockbuster movie, and I'm fortunate I get to call it, front row, but, and I know the second half's gonna be just as good. We haven't seen Sydney yet. Noah's coming back in the deuce, Rye Benjamin, Grant Holloway, just so much to look forward to, but, the first half definitely delivered.
Absolutely. So it clearly lived up to her expectations, and that's what I was going to ask about that second half. Like, I had to gather myself, because the thing in Christian is like a little brother. I said, take a step back, Lord. I said, come on now. But no, the second half is going to be exciting. Thank you again for having us looking amazing. I'm telling you, I'm comfy.
Living the dream, y'all. Coordinates. And shopcoordinates.com right now. Go ahead, head over there.
And I don't know if y'all know, but she ain't getting this back. Okay? She ain't getting it back.
Baby, this is for you.
I was going to run off.
This is Olympic champion Dawn Harper Nelson, baby. If somebody is going to get gifted coordinates, it's going to be Dawn Harper Nelson. Okay, show the folks. Take the mic. Yes. Yes. You like how I stole your mic?
I love it. But again, you'll get the insider with me. But thank you so much for coming and talking to us.
Thank you.
Of course. And insider with Dawn. Back to my crew.
Thank you, ladies. That was fantastic. We are back at the desk with my big sister, Michelle. It's been a minute. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. How about yourself, Darrell?
I'm doing
Let's
well.
not move on just yet. I got to get me some of them PJs.
I know. They look amazing. I was looking at them the other day online. I'm like, I'm going to have to get me a pair.
Yeah.
Now, listen, I'm not trying to get me a pair, but I don't really, obviously you giving them out to Team USA. I mean, you know what I mean? Come on, hook us up. I'll send you my sizes.
We're that second peripheral ring of Team USA.
Right.
How close to the center you got to be?
Come on now. Listen, you had 2 days off. Talk to to me about, did you feel rested? You rejuvenated? You ready for some more track and field?
I'm always ready for some more track and field. Unfortunately, I was a little busy during my 2 days. Work still goes on, but I'm so excited to be back, talk about more track and field, and ready to crown some more Olympians.
Hey, being busy is a blessing, but obviously at the top of the show, me and Will talked about our favorite performances through the first 4 days. So before we get into the back half of this Olympic trials, I want to hear what are your silver, gold, and bronze medal performances for the first 4 days of competition.
Oh, man. Okay, I'll give you my top 3. Of course, we know men's shot put is on my list. Like, even though I picked Joe.
We all did.
on my list.
Man. We all did, man.
Ryan still came out on top, and I should have known better. Ryan, I'm so sorry, because I did say in the beginning that after an injury, I've had my best competitions. I had my best performances. So here he is coming off an injury, and he has a great performance. And so I should never count him out.
I think we were throwing some fuel on the Krauser
We
fire.
were.
Yeah, he tunes in, obviously.
He does.
Obviously.
But what I wanted to see, because I like both of them. I'm a fan of both of them, and I want them to take turns winning. So that's why I was kind of hoping. I'm like, okay, he might be a little injured, but, let Joe win one.
You like the demon. He wanted that tie. He wanted that tie.
He did. But, things turn out the way they're supposed to turn out.
Sure.
Next, I really enjoyed the women's 5,000. That was a close race. Like, going all the way to the line and having to lean, and you're just separated by 1/100th of a second. Like, who can really count that in your head? Like, it's hard to see, but that was an awesome competition.
Yeah, I mean, like, when Ellie crossed the line and knew she won,
yes.
I was like, how do you know that? What kind of vision? Does milk improve your vision?
Sure.
So I need to start
It
drinking some
might,
milk.
but I feel like champions know when they become a champion. You just know, and she knew when she crossed that line.
You were talking about this earlier, but I'm going to let you get to the last one. But once you said it early in the show, it really stuck into my brain. 25 laps for it to come down to the line is
12 and a half.
Sorry, 12 and a half. Sorry. I'm listening. My brain's been battered from the 10Ks from day number
long
one.
distance races.
12 and all of those laps, right, for it to come down to that last second is like, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy.
But that's what makes the competition great. Like, you want to see a tight competition. Like, it's okay to see somebody out in front, but when it comes down to the line, like, that's a great competition.
Racing.
Yes.
Racing.
Yes. And that's why we're the hardest team to make. And I would say my third was the women's 100. How can we forget about that?
Crazy.
Sha'Carri making the Olympic team, just seeing her cross that line and just see the joy. Like, she was just overwhelmed with joy in the moment because she knew that she was capable, and having to have missed it in 2020 or 2021 and to finally make it in 2024, like, I felt so much joy for her to come back and redeem herself and prove not just to the world but to herself that she has what it takes.
Deep down inside, I feel like I know, and it should be on the top of recall that Sha'Carri didn't make it in 21.
Right.
But I don't remember that. It's hard for me. She's so good. It's hard for me
Yeah.
to believe that this is her first Olympic team.
Yeah.
I think that's been the case for a lot of our young superstars in this sport, which has made this Olympic trial so special. So many of our young superstars qualifying for their first game. So this is not routine. You know what I mean? Like, this is a lot of people achieving. So it's been awesome. But speaking of redemption, I got to find a way to redeem myself in these predictions because I started off strong. I started off hot, but the field has caught up a little bit. And as you see down on the screen, we've got a tie between me and Will, and we've got a new leader, Michelle.
Number one.
We got a new leader,
Michelle's
but
at number one.
we got a lot of cool predictions
Michelle's
going on
at
here today.
number
But so
one.
these opportunities that it could flip again, it will flip again, it better flip again, it shall flip again, right?
I said the
Well,
flip,
you know what? I'm
flop,
not worried
the
about
flippy
that
to the
right
flippy
now.
to the flip, flip, flop.
I'm going to take my moment. I'm up by 8, so yay, Michelle. And
Listen.
I'm ready to pick some more winners.
Period. We moving on to the first one. Our first prediction of the day is I want to know who is going to win the women's discus. I need a second to write this down. And
No
I
cheating.
say
No cheating.
literally a second.
Right answers only.
Ready?
Ladies first.
Set. Oh, okay.
Oh, we can go together. 3, 2,
Bam.
1.
Valerie, all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a rough qualifying. There are some people that we wanted to see make it through, didn't make it through. And right now, for me, Valerie is a clear winner.
Yeah, with Loggy out from those first 3 fouls in the qualifying, I mean, this is Val's for the taking. I think that she's positioned better than anybody to step up. And the ballerina of the ring is going to emerge victorious.
Listen, man, we've got a lot of favorites here in this Olympic trials. I really don't know if there's another favorite at this moment as large as Valerie
Heavy-
Allman, especially after you watch her throw in the qualifying, throwing 70.98 meters in the qualifying round number 1, which kind of leads us right into our second prediction question. The over-under in this one has been set, ladies and gentlemen. It is 71 meters. Do you believe the victor of this competition, could be anybody, is going to throw over or under 71 meters? Give us 1 second.
All right, let me see.
Are you cheating?
I already wrote my answer down, so it doesn't matter what you write.
Okay, I just listen. You know what I'm saying? I just want to make
not
sure
gonna
because I
change
feel
my
like she caught up because.
Hold on, hold on real quick. I know that.
There's no
Okay,
win.
that changes. That changes.
Y'all ready?
There's a little bit of win. There's a little bit.
I'm almost ready.
3, 2, 1. What y'all got? Ooh, I'm the lone.
I said under.
I'm the lone over here.
I
Listen,
said
okay.
under.
Well, let me speak on it then, since y'all.
Let me hear why you picked over.
I'm the only one going this way. I feel like every year of Val's career, even though she's accomplished a lot, it's always felt like she's had something to prove. After losing the World Championships last year, heading to the Olympic Games, this feels like a perfect opportunity for Val to really set the tone for the championships. We've had a lot of women here and men who have gone out to Ramona in the Midwest this year, have chased some wins, have gotten some big throws, and she chose not to, which tells me that she's still looking for her opportunity to show the world that, hey, I don't need to go out to the Midwest to get some good throws in. I feel like, listen, if you pick your thumb up now, we got a little bit of wind picking up in this competition, so I'm taking over here. Val, hold me down.
Well, I just want to mention, like you said, some people went to the Midwest to catch some good wins, to get some great throws. When you're a great discus thrower, you don't need wind. You're going to throw well whenever. Now, if there is wind, you know how to take advantage of the opportunity, because I'm not going to say I've never caught some great throws with some wind if you know how to use it.
So you taking over then?
Yeah,
no.
30 seconds
I'm taking
ago,
under only just simply because.
30 seconds
pressure.
ago, guys. 30 seconds ago, it was dead as calm over here. Now we got a little advantageous win for the discus. So
now.
we'll
That's
see what
God,
happens.
baby.
All right, Darrell, who did you call for that win?
God.
Got on
Listen,
speed dial.
I'm down in the predictions. There's only one person that can get me out of it. His name is G-O-D, baby. G-O-D. All right, we moving on. We got to get up out of here. What will the leading time be in the men's 110s semis? So we're on to the second round. For some context at home, Grant Holloway. He played for the. Listen, my brain's on basketball because Bronny Williams. What is that with the win? Bronny James just got drafted by the Lakers. So my brain's
did the
on
win
basketball.
get you? What happened? Did
No,
you
listen,
eat today?
I'm having a good time. We're having
a great time.
Man, who gonna have the fastest? What's the fastest time in the semis?
Oh. You ready? Oh,
Go ahead, y'all
I got
it.
mine. I'm ready. I said 13 flat.
Right answers only.
13 flat.
12.95. You feel that tailwind right now.
He said 12.96.
Wow, that's a very, very small window right there.
It
Yes,
is. It is.
Yes, it is.
It is.
I was actually expecting y'all to overstep, but I know y'all are veterans, so y'all didn't. So what you got, 13 flat?
13 flat.
Okay. Give me your reasoning.
My reason why it's cooler today than it has been. And for me and what I've seen, sometimes when it's cooler, the athletes react a little bit different.
Sure.
And you want to make sure you really want to protect your muscles at all costs. So I don't see it going as fast as it did at the first race, but I still think we're going to see some good times. So I'm sticking with 13 flat.
What you got, Will?
I don't see a world where Grant Holloway doesn't go under 13 seconds. Sends a message, maybe shuts it down after the last hurdle, but unlike the 100 meters, you have to execute over every single hurdle.
Sure. Right.
Because if you don't, you start hitting hurdles, you start stuttering, your timing is thrown off. And so I do believe in this race, it is more difficult to run slowly and shut it down than it is to just execute that race plan.
Yeah, something was telling me, like, at first when I was thinking about this question, I was actually thinking about it being a lot faster. Like, my first number in my brain was 12.88. Because obviously we know people always try to go through the semis and produce that fast time. But I feel like Grant Holloway knows the biggest thing that can upset him is if he hits some hurdles. So I'm expecting him to just try to get through clean, get through the finals, and I think it's going to be in 12.96. We're going to keep this thing rolling. We're going on to some distance races. We had Emma Coburn up here, but we're going on to the 3K steeplechase, and I want to know who you guys got for the win.
All right. You ready?
I'm ready. Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready.
I'm ready. 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Who y'all got? Ooh,
Gabby.
Jennings.
I got Gabby.
I got Gabby.
Did you forget how to spell other names?
No.
That's still your discus pick?
No, this is exactly what
That's
I
Val
wanted it to be.
Constein.
No, it's Val. Yeah, I'm rolling with Val. And I'm calling her Val because she's going to hold me down. The Vals are going to hold me down today. Listen,
he just
I don't know if
busting
he's
over there.
saying
Here's
like
Coach
vowel
Prime.
or vowels.
No, it's Val. Val, baby. Listen,
Val.
she's looked good this year. I think Gabby Jenner, she looked fantastic. You know, so she's right in that running.
She does.
Her, Courtney Wayman. I love her last name because it always sounds like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? But I think this is gonna be really, really good. I'm excited. I watched them run at Prefontaine. She looked fantastic. So I'm expecting her to hold me down today.
Yeah, I believe Gabby she's focused. She proved the point in the semis, and I think she's going to be ready for the finals.
I have insider information.
Oh,
Well, then I'm glad
I get to see Gabby work out once or twice a week at the track about 200 meters from my own house, and I've watched her flip a switch both mentally and physically this year. I feel like she has become a professional, and this is going to be her shining moment. She's been inch by inch making her way up the ranks, obviously running that big PR in China earlier this year, and then just following it up with like very strong performance after very strong performance. How she looked in the prelim, undeniable.
Right.
But Gabby Jennings all the way. I do like the Val call out though.
Absolutely. It's going to be fun. It's going to be spicy. But leading into that 3K, we got one more question. And I want to know who is going to be leading the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase going into the last lap. I wait for everybody's own.
I don't even have to change mine. What you mean? I just kept mine the same. It's going to be Gabby again.
I started scribbling over here, so you thought I was going to change it?
I knew you wasn't.
I did. I swear I did.
I knew he wasn't going to change it.
I got a different name. I got a different name on here.
Well, of course you do.
Of course, because I'm ready. Listen, it all sounds like fun and games right now in this moment until I come back and I'm the victor. You know what I'm saying? I want to know from both of you guys why you feel so. You guys are feeling like this is going to be a strong, very good, strong performance from Gabby J. Talk to me about it.
The steeplechase is one of these races where, I mean, we saw it in the men's race when Kenneth Rooks made his move to the front, that you don't look back. You make one aggressive move. We saw Gabby do that in the prelim. We heard Emma talk about it earlier on the show, how this is like, she's performing like, I was standing with Joe Bossard during Gabby's prelim, and over every one of the water barriers towards the end of the race, he's like, this is looking like vintage Emma Coburn right here.
Yeah.
This is looking like Emma, how strong she was, how composed. You didn't see it. She was breathing through her nose at the end of that race. Oh, my gosh.
She just walked away from the finish line like it was nothing. Everybody else was bent over. I said, oh, she's in shape. She is focused. And she came out proving her point. Like, I'm going to lead this from the beginning, and I'm going to follow this all the way through to the finish line. So that's why I'm sticking with Gabby, because she looked like she's ready mentally and physically.
Listen, I got no debate. Y'all heard me. Y'all seen my picks. I'm standing on it. I feel good about it. Listen, I want to close this out by thanking you guys for coming back with us. Obviously, we're getting ready for the second half of competition here at the Olympic Trials. I'm super excited. It's going to be great. Michelle Carter, Will Lear, I'm Darrell Hill, and we are signing out, sending off the NBC inside the stadium. What up, what up?